I'm so happy to be back for the second year doing the Startup Showcase. We heard some really good feedback, and we saw some really great results from the startups who were here last year. So we're ready to do it all again this year. We have some amazing panelists. In addition, we have some even more incredible startups. So this is a very positive environment, and I'm so excited to have everybody here today and to be able to host it, because one of the things that I love about DataConnect and Women in Analytics is they're all about elevating women's voices, and we need more women leading the way, starting businesses, and creating ecosystems. And so not only do we have 3 amazing female founders, but we also have 3 amazing venture capitalists in the room who are supporting that ecosystem. So I'm excited to welcome Shuchi Reina. She is the head of white space for ServiceNow. In addition, we have Ashley Keating. She's a partner at Sin City Tech. And finally, we have Rachel Stern, who is the founder and CEO of GovTech Ventures. Please join me in giving a round of applause for our sharks, but also our venture side. All right, so these are going to be really quick presentations. I don't want to waste any more time. And so let's go ahead and bring out our first company. We have Abea, and please join me in welcoming Kimberly, the founder and CEO, to the stage.
Hey, everyone. I'm Kim Teese. I'm a co-founder of ApetureData. I'm also the CEO and president. Excited to be here today. So ApetureData was founded just last year in September of 2023. A colleague of mine who's in the audience, Jean-Georges Perrin, and another co-founder, we all came together. We had a couple of beers, and we realized we were all solving some of the same data problems and had some of the same ideas about how to solve it. And the problem is that data is costing us tons of money. We had been part of large organizations, Fortune 500, FTSE 100s, and others that were spending a ton on data pipelines, data storage, all the things, right? But not thinking about analytics and how to store analytics, how to use data contracts and data products to increase the insights available. So we came up with a solution, and our solution is called Sacha. Sacha is a modern data platform. It's API-based, it's plug and play, much like Legos. So you can pick the pieces and parts that you need for your organization, and it works with a lot of integrations. So we'll talk about that a little bit. We also provide data-driven strategy on how to use these components and how to make the most of the components that you have. So we can do brownfield, we do greenfield, and we'll also be launching our software as a service platform next year. So our first product is Sacha. Sacha has a number of different components, and it has 3 main user groups that we're focused on. So we've got the AI data scientists, so that's a lot of you in the room who spend every day looking at data, transforming it, understanding it, and bringing business meaning out of it. The other piece is data engineering, so we have a tool set for data engineers that allows them to work more efficiently in the tools they know and love, but to make sure that the data coming out is reusable and has a human feedback loop. And then finally, data governance. So the big nasty that nobody wants to talk about, we have some fun tools that make it a lot easier to leverage data governance, ensure quality, and SLAs. On our services side, we have a data modernization strategy that fits with our tools that we bring to the table. And we also have a data mesh accelerator. So Jean-Georges and I were at a previous large fintech company where we actually did implement a data mesh that worked. It does happen. And so we learned a lot of things about it. And what we learned was it's not just about the tools, it's about the process, it's about the people and the culture. And so we bring that to the table as well. We know that the market needs us. None of the numbers here are a surprise. And we see that there's a $17 million obtainable market that is just waiting to be found. So we're excited to jump in, and we're hoping to achieve a little shy of 20 million within our first 2 years. From a competitive standpoint, there are a lot of competitors out there, but they're very different than us. So a lot of competitors coming onto the scene right now, like OneData, NextData, that was founded by Zhamak Dehghani, Data Mesh Manager. All of these solve for specific problems in the life cycle of data contracts and data products, but not the entire life cycle. They also tend to be very proprietary in nature, so not as easy to plug and play. We are open source founded and open source forward on all of our solutions, and so we can work with any platform. You don't have to use Purview because you're on Microsoft. You don't have to use, BigQuery or Looker just because you're using Google Cloud. You can use our products. There are 4 main value propositions that we bring to the table. One is expedited ROI. The other is around cost, and finally, user experience and open source and open standards. I won't read the slide. There's actually an updated one. This seems to be an older deck. But the main things that we bring to the table is faster ROI through very quick implementation. If you can implement an API in your company, you can add our products. From a cost perspective, we reduce costs by removing data drudgery, all the things that we hate doing in terms of cleaning, transforming, and storing data. Because we're using data contracts that are based on open standards, it makes it much easier to understand. And then finally, open source and the user experience is the biggest one. We're spending a lot of time with our users getting to understand what their needs are from the data science, the engineering, and the governance standpoints so that we can really help them. Projections and key metrics, you can see that we're quite ambitious. The first few years, we expect our strategic services to really be the startup for us in terms of bootstrapping, trying our products out with enterprises and mid-market. We think especially in the mid-market, there's an open area that has not been addressed. And then we expect that very quickly over coming years to really become really a product-focused company. That's where we want to be. And so we're working on our go-to-market plans to ensure that we have great partners along the way to implement our products. These are our founders. We have a variety of experience across a number of different industries, and we each bring something unique to the table. But together, we've had, I think, 13 startups between the 3 of us, some with successful exits, some that aren't. Guys, it doesn't always work, and we'll be the first to admit it. So we are veterans of this process and excited to do it again. So the opportunity, we've actually updated this as well, but about 250 in seed is what we're looking for this year. We are pre-seed right now.
Thank you. Please join me in giving Abea a round of applause. Thank you. Ashley, let's go ahead and start with you. What feedback or comments do you have?
Sure. I would say 2 things. One, it seems that you're pretty honed in on an ROI sell, right? Which I think is really important. I'm a kind of an accountant way back when, so finance is music to my ears when you can calculate a tangible ROI. So I think really lean in on that and make that real in the pitch. And then the second thing would be just something to think about. Venture capitalists are terrible when it comes to, if you start mentioning services and SaaS, it might be an immediate, when you have a lot of pitch decks to look at, it might just cause a pass. So think about how that gets messaged, and if you are going to lean in on the services, why that's so critical and creates a massive value add for the product. Because when you see both, sometimes it's less appealing as an investor. That's the mentality you will see.
Great feedback. Thank you.
And I can definitely second that. I would probably lead with the product side versus the services. So especially when you're pitching to like a traditional venture capitalist. So, and just a quick question. What is the current breakdown or mix product and services? Is there?
We're spending most of and we actually had removed most of the services, so I was a little surprised on stage. This was the first version I had put up, and I'd updated a different version a week or so ago. But so we're focusing entirely on product, but to get the product out, we are bootstrapping, and so the services allows us to try the products with select customers, and so we're choosing 6 select customers, for example, for our very first component of the product that we're testing this fall. And with each component that we'll be releasing, we'll be choosing select customers to work with so that we're constantly getting feedback on the product.
Absolutely. I think that's key.
With a Lego model, I love that. And as you think about building towards it, I might highlight where you're starting and then what components are sort of in the roadmap and how that will increase sort of the average contract value of each of your customers, right? So you're starting them here, you're going here, you're going here. Eventually, new customers will have the whole ecosystem to choose from of sort of a good, better, best, or some permutation of that. Yeah. But highlighting where you're starting and where you're going instead of sort of the whole elephant, I think will be helpful as people understand what you're building.
Wonderful. Thank you for the feedback.
And as we have 30 seconds left, how can all of us in the audience best support you and Abea along your journey?
2 ways. 1, follow us on LinkedIn. We're putting a lot of information, thought leadership, and content out. 2, get on BTOL, Project BTOL on the Linux Foundation. Provide feedback there. We're very active in the open source community. And 3, if you're interested in early stage pre-seed funding, please see me.
Quick question, have you raised any money yet?
We have not. We're self-funded.
Bootstrapped, cool. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Kimberly.
Great. Thanks, guys.
All right, we are ready for our next round of the Shark Tank series here. Please join me in welcoming Vishakha Gupta. She is the co-founder and CEO of ApertureData.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you all. I'm Vishakha. I'm co-founder and CEO of ApertureData. Let's talk today about choosing the right data tools for building your multimodal AI stack. Now, we've all seen a lot has changed in the AI landscape, from machine learning to large language models to retrieval augmented generation, where you can ask questions and get fairly good answers. And multimodal data can really speed it up, and everyone is trying to get ahead in this fast-paced AI-driven market, all either to increase their customer growth and their operational efficiencies. However, with hundreds of conversations that we have had so far, the big thing that we always come across is from practitioners who want to make use of this and deploy these in production, in real world, across different verticals. They come across the same set of challenges. If they want to get the most out of the AI techniques, they have to work with their proprietary data. And that leads them to the same set of challenges that are common across a lot of different verticals that we've seen. They all want to be able to access different modalities of data, search and be able to visualize them. They want to be able to manage their data sets easily, figure out which models were trained using which data sets. Data governance is a big issue, as we heard earlier, too. And of course, they want their data tools to work seamlessly with their machine learning pipeline. And this is where data and therefore AI quality go to die. And this is not extreme. I'll tell you why. Of course, when you're collecting data from so many different places, in large and small organizations, when you put these, the only choices you have today is to scatter them across different databases, cloud object stores, get your labels from different sources, again, more data buckets, and then people are writing scripts, they are combining processing libraries, and they are introducing new types of databases that they don't even know how to evaluate. Of course, it's not surprising then that they don't know what their data means, where it all lives, and how they can get the most out of it. And that's where what we realized was the solution is to build a database that not only understands the complexity of multimodal data, but also how it's going to be utilized by AI pipelines. So that's what we built with ApertureDB. It provides you a way to manage data like text, audio, video, images in one database, along with how to process it. You have a way to search and find it using our graph database, which you can actually use to build your knowledge graphs on. And we always realize that a good way to find your data is going to be if you can search by similarity, which is why another important component of our database is a vector database. And we seamlessly blend all of these things together through our query engine. So ApertureDB essentially provides a unified interface to our users in order to be able to manage their complex data, metadata, and embeddings together, solving the problem, giving them what they were hoping to get from such a database, from their data layer. If you build the data, because this is a database built for AI, it seamlessly fits into the rest of the pipelines and the ecosystem. Did we really solve their problems? Let's take a quick look at it. We have dashboard to let you quickly see what your metadata is so you can use to query it. So you can do complex graph queries. You can, however complicated your data set is, you can easily query and visualize it. You can ask questions using RAG pipelines built on ApertureDB vector search. You can use multimodal embeddings pretty easily. It's very straightforward. You can create your data sets. You can debug them very easily through the tools we have built because we've thought about the entire pipeline and built something that essentially not only provides you the uniform interface, but also works 35 times faster. Wow, that was a loud one. And in my defense, we were told 5 minutes, but this is 4. So I'll stop at this one.
Thank
so you. Can find more.
Shuchi, let's start with you. Any comments, feedback?
Yeah, no, I just have a couple of questions. Could you speak about the business side? Where are you guys at in your startup journey? And
Yes, so we are a pre-Series A startup. We've raised over 8 million so far. We are working with actually, if you saw here, we are working with customers ranging from a Fortune 50 home improvement retailer to a to an SMB that has a retail robotics deployment and a cashless checkout company and some other companies that we are adding in the pipeline now.
And one more question, just from a competitive landscape, how do you differentiate yourself? Is there?
I'm glad you're giving me a chance to.
Okay, all right.
So the thing that we realized is you can have very specialized database. I think all of you have probably heard about vector databases today. But then you realize vectors are not enough. You need either relational or graph data. And then you go to traditional databases. So if you take the overall pipeline view and think about how do you collect data, how do you search, and how do you feed it into downstream processes, you'll see that the current data solutions are missing some or the other pieces. Some only let you search, but not let you manage metadata. Some don't let you manage annotations. Some don't let you easily query from training or inference pipelines, and so you have to build all those things yourself. So really, DIY solutions are our true competitors.
Cool.
Can you talk a little bit about your business traction to date, revenue, customers? I know you've got big customers, but how are you charging for this? How are you thinking about it in terms of growth?
So we actually have a very simple pricing model. It's so ApertureDB is cloud agnostic. It can run. We can host it for our customers. So one of those customers is hosted on our cloud, or we can also deploy it on customers' virtual private cloud due to the sensitive nature of data. And we charge by the number of database instances. Very often, people end up having at least one dev and one production instance. And we also charge by storage tiers and support levels. We are planning a launch coming in October, which will make it even easier, even for people who don't, who just want to have a self-service interface. So that's coming up soon. The pricing will change with that, but that's something we are exploring and iterating on.
I guess in the interest of time, very briefly, are you looking to raise soon?
Either end of this year or early next year.
And the only other comment, just because of time, again, I would say is I felt that you did a very nice job setting up your introduction and pretty clearly conveyed some mastery in the space. So I just wanted to share that feedback.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your time. And I'm available to answer other questions afterwards.
Perfect. Thank you. Please join me again with a round of applause for Vishakha and ApertureData. I'm loving this music. It really gives you the suspense in between each session. So we have one more startup. Please join me in welcoming Plurall AI with the founder and CEO, Sandra Cai.
Hi, everyone. My name is Sandra Cai, and I'm the founder and CEO of Plurall AI, a B2B enterprise SaaS that is building an in-house, fully independent AI detection tool, anti-deepfake, and anti-fraud for institutions. So the reason why we're doing this is because while we are maintaining the benefit of AGI and AI, there is a very problematic problem out there that we are overlooking, which is deepfake. So when it comes to celebrities like Taylor Swift and Scarlett Johansson, they are yet very vulnerable towards this very problematic problem out there that they are taking legal actions against some of the deepfakes engines in the market. So think about your younger sisters, younger brothers, your sons and daughters, your friends. They're not yet educated towards this technology in terms of how to protect themselves from the potential harmness. So we happen to be in a very huge market, And according to the Nation News, the investment in the AI industry in terms of the growth is still in a very exponential way. And we can see the year-over-year curve, and the whole market is trending to $200 billion. And yeah, when we are trying to figure out some of the existing solution in the market, we don't really find a very functioning or a really working solution towards this technology because some of the endpoints and throughputs and also approaches targeting this problem is not really cost effective and not really effective. So that's why we actually launched our first product to everyone for free to try it out in terms of the product of Gauss Mask, which is a detection tool for you guys to detect the content you're consuming about images. To basically, you can see the video, the demo video here. If you upload any type of images, we are able to provide a 93% accuracy within milliseconds of response. Once you type your email address, we're able to tell you that, hey, the content you're consuming is actually true or fake. So this is the food that I just cooked last week about chicken over egg, and I upload this image to our engine, and it's actually true. And you can also see that we have a deepfake image that we also uploaded to this engine that is able to tell you that this image is actually generated by an AI generation tool. And last but not least, you'll see that we have also uploaded a screenshot that contains a certain proportion of fake content, meaning that it's not totally fake, but it's partially fake. But to our Gauss Mask product, 1% fake is 100% fake. So we're able to make sure that people are getting accurate response once they upload any image to our engine. And we are a B2B enterprise-focused company. We're a B2B enterprise SaaS. And those are some of the business clients that we're serving and we're able to serve well. So when we are doing research in terms of our competitors, we happen to figure in a surprising way that they're either not protecting their users' privacy, or the way of them going about this problem is really not effective in terms of they're not building their inferencing infrastructure from ground zero, or they're delegating or outsourcing their indexing layer, which is really dangerous. So our servers are categorized into 3 different packages, and we happen to have one existing client who is bringing in $360,000 annual recurring revenue to us. So that client really built us the momentum of, oh, it's actually helping us because.
Thank you. So I'd like to start off with Rachel, because I know one of the questions I get asked in government, in particular with AI, is so many politicians are worried about deepfake. What feedback do you have for Plurall?
Yeah, I saw government in there as a potential customer as well, and I know there's a lot of tailwinds in terms of legislation trying to tackle deepfake, so it's certainly an issue that government is thinking on. As you think about monetizing this for a government customer, where do you see the clearest inroad?
Yes, sorry we didn't go through everything because we have a lot to talk about. So back to the question, we are having conversations with one government officer right now, and they happen to let us know that because they're going through tons of paper stack every day, and they don't know that the invoice they're going through, the paper that they're going through, and the images, and maybe some information on the paper is actually AI generated or not, because they don't want to touch anything that is AI generated, because they want everything authentic, transparent, and true, obviously. So they are talking about the potential usage of our solution on top of their existing day-to-day. So that is the conversation we're going through with the government officers.
I had a question on your competitive landscape slide. You were the only company where safety was checked. Can you just speak a bit about what you mean by, we're the only one with safety?
Oh, yeah, sure. So. Yeah, I love this question. So basically, what we mean by we're providing a safety layer for people is basically we're building everything in-house. We're not using any ChatGPT, any existing GPT wrapper, or any existing data engine on top of it. We're building everything from scratch, meaning that we have our own data intelligence graphics and also our very unique approach about creating our inferencing infrastructure and going about the indexing layer and also the API and also the final application, which is going to be provided to our business clients. So we are very, very independent in terms of our tech independency. So that's what we mean by we are creating this safety layer for companies, and they don't have to worry about, oh, am I giving my personal data, personal information to GPT or to any existing AI companies? It's actually not the case.
Thank you.
I had a question. You mentioned that if there's just 1% of AI-altered image in there, it'll be detected. Would that also apply to things that users choose to change on an image? I think of things like Facetune and even just your traditional Photoshop tools. Is that something that you guys would detect with this tool as well?
Amazing question. So yes, anything that is edited and anything that maybe you can twist or edit the picture that you've taken using a real-time phone or a real-time device, we're able to tell you that, hey, it's actually twisted a little bit, but we're not going to tell you that it's actually a fake image because you really, in real time, use that device to take that picture. But you happen to do some edits afterwards about the picture, we're able to tell you that which proportion of it is going to be, not 100% authentic, not 100% true. So that's going to be our 2.0, 3.0, which is going to be on top of our 1.0 of the Ghost Mask product that we're already putting out there.
Awesome. Thank you, Sandra. Please give me a round of applause for Plurall AI.
Thank you.
All right, so that wraps us up for today. As you can see, it was a very quick session. Our goal here is to really elevate the voices of those startups that are here. I highly encourage each of you to check them out all online, give them a follow, maybe even share a post. Just getting the word out about the tool can be a really great help. So that's one thing everyone here in the audience can do. And then please connect with them. If you want to test out the tool, it sounds like a couple of them are looking for users, or if you have additional intros or connections, I know they each would appreciate it. So again, thank you for supporting these startups, and please join me in just giving another round of applause for our panelists.